For years, they told us the Epstein client list didn't exist. They said Maxwell would never talk. They swore the powerful names would stay buried forever. Well, guess what just happened? The House Oversight Committee dropped the hammer. Subpoenas are flying, and the biggest names in politics are scrambling for cover. Ghislaine Maxwell has a date with Congress, and suddenly Jay wants to chat after ignoring her for years. And Bill and Hillary Clinton just got served. Former attorneys generals are being hauled in. Senate Democrats just blocked the Epstein files. What are they hiding? Who are they protecting? The August 11th deposition could blow the lid off the biggest blackmail operation in history, so don't look away. Wait till you find out what we've uncovered. Now, the Epstein network, it ran deeper than anyone imagined, blackmailing the world's most powerful people. While they controlled narrative, destroyed lives, Americans lost faith in justice, just like the healthcare system that bleeds us dry. The elite play by different rules. That's why I take control where I can, like with my health. Blood Flow 7 from Juvenon, it helps me stay sharp and energized naturally. It boosts nitric oxide levels and improves circulation without stimulants. Doctor formulated with premium ingredients. It's helped my stamina and my focus. I wouldn't share it if it didn't work. Visit bloodflow7.com/NNN or below to learn more. Now, check this out. Amin was posting this just 8 hours ago. There is a pretty good chance that the reason Trump's name appears in the DOJ files related to Epstein is the fact that he was the original Epstein whistleblower in 2005. Author Michael Wolff revealed that Jeffrey Epstein discovered it was Donald Trump who blew the whistle on him in 2005. As a result, Epstein reportedly lived in fear during Trump's presidency, believing he would be targeted after evading significant accountability for his crimes in 2008. And now this deposition of Jeffrey Epstein has surfaced. Listen to this and listen to Jeffrey Epstein's response.
The presence. Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Have you ever had a person?
So do you hear what he did? He's exerting his 5th, 14th, and 6th Amendment. Now, I'm like, why? Normally plead the 5th because they don't want to incriminate themselves. So, here he is. He's under deposition. He's asked a direct question about President Trump and girls under the age of 18. Now, that doesn't mean that Donald Trump was with those girls. All it does is Epstein's protecting himself against incrimination. That's what it comes down to. The other amendments, right to a fair trial, these types of things, he's really laying a big firewall so he can have a greater defense when the charges drop. So I thought this was an interesting clip because it doesn't say that Donald Trump did anything. It just says that Jeffrey Epstein didn't want to admit if he was ever with girls under the age of 18. That's how I read this. We also have this. Representative Ro Khanna now maneuvering to subpoena 15 hours of footage of Jeffrey Epstein during his series of interviews with Steve Bannon. Now, I've asked about where's the footage? Steve Bannon sat down with Jeffrey Epstein for hours and hours and hours, coaching him on media. And supposedly he was going to make a movie called The Monster, never came out. Now Ro Khanna is trying to get that footage from Bannon. We may see it. Who knows? And of course, Roger Stone had this to say. When will Stinky come clean about his association with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein and Steve Bannon, a love story. Steve Bannon visited Epstein's Paris. Steve Bannon frequented Epstein's New York mansion. Roger Stone laying in to Steve Bannon. Yeah, he's not a fan of either man. More from Amuse. Epstein, given the fact that neither DOJ or FBI wanted Ghislaine Maxwell talking to them or anyone else, perhaps it's a good idea for Congress and the Trump administration to her now. Why did the DOJ and the FBI refuse to interview Ghislaine Maxwell? Not a single prosecutor, state or federal, ever asked to interview Ghislaine Maxwell. Her lawyer, Leah Safian, confirmed the Justice Department was never interested or willing to interview her client. Maxwell knows the details of every co-conspirator, client, and victim, and yet no one from Justice wanted her to talk. But that appears to be changing. Senate Democrats now have objected to approving a resolution that called for all available Epstein files to be released. Interesting. Just yesterday, it was Nancy Pelosi who was tweeting about, "We need to have the Epstein files," days after she called it a distraction. So Senate Democrats objecting now. It was brought to the floor by Senator Markwayne Mullin, a Republican. Would you look at that? It's all about political games. They don't care. Every voter needs to see this. I ask for unanimous consent. Check this out.
With AG Bondi, justice to the victims and transparency to the American people. Mr. President, as I said before, we want transparency. But the courts control the grand jury. The judges that oversee the courts control the grand jury. We, in this body, can have resolutions back and forth and suggest that it be done, but truthfully, the judges have to do it. AG Bondi and the President has both already called on the judges to release this information. What my resolution is simply saying is we agree with the President, we agree with AG Bondi on the judges and calling upon the judges to release it. So as if in legislation session and notwithstanding Rule 22, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the consideration of S-Res 335, which is at the desk. Further, I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be agreed to, the preamble be agreed to, and that the motion to reconsider be considered and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Is there objection?
Reserving the right to object, Mr. President.
Senator from Arizona is recognized.
Mr. President, let me explain.
Justice to the victims and transparency.
And it is objected. Now, check this out. Here's Senator Richard Blumenthal. I can't stand this. He says Trump DOJ is interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell to secure a cover-up, a secret meeting, and a secret deal to give her potentially a pardon for providing information favorable to Trump. Well, hey, imagine that. Imagine if Donald Trump did give her a pardon. Pardon Ghislaine, let her sing like a jaybird and expose everybody. Was that something you would be okay with? In exchange, total immunity for everything she did, just so she could expose the ring? It's a big ask.
We have beseeched and written and urged the Department of Justice to come clean with the American people. And instead what's happening is one of the most corrupt misuses of power in the history of the Department of Justice. The Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, is about to go to a federal prison where Maxwell, a convicted felon involved in the Epstein trafficking of children, is going to be interviewed by him. Now, keep in mind that no ordinary person could have their personal henchmen in the Department of Justice go to secure a cover-up as a result of that kind of secret meeting and deal giving her potentially a pardon for providing information favorable to Trump.
Sounds like a conspiracy to me. Yeah, looks like we got some new conspiracy theorists. Tara Bull writes, breaking, DOJ is meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell and her attorneys right now. This was 6 hours ago. Ghislaine meeting with the DOJ happening earlier today. And then we have this House Oversight Committee reportedly voted in favor of subpoenaing two major names in U.S. politics, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Yeah, baby. Yes! Lock her up! Lock her up! Join me! Now, subpoenaing doesn't mean they're going to be indicted for anything, but maybe they have some information. What happened on those Lolita Express flights, Bill? Where was Hillary? How was the island, Bill? How were those massages? Yeah, we're going to find out here. 4 hours ago, House Oversight Committee to depose Ghislaine Maxwell in the Tallahassee prison on August 11th. The House Oversight, let me repeat that, House Oversight Committee going to the Tallahassee prison to depose Ghislaine Maxwell on August 11th. Buckle up. D-Day is coming. The Department of Justice has said they would want to meet with Maxwell if she has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims. GOP oversight. I hope some of you will ask questions about the blackmail scheme with Epstein. Here we have this. Amused 14 hours ago. Epstein, if we're going to have more pointless investigations, we ought to make the guilty squirm. House panel directs chairman to subpoena Bill Clinton in the Epstein probe. Buckle up. Here it is. This is the House Oversight Committee officially issuing the subpoena to Ghislaine Maxwell for a deposition. Black and white right there by the authority of the House of Representatives, the Congress of the United States of America, to Ghislaine Maxwell. You are hereby commanded to be and appear before the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. To testify at a deposition touching matters of inquiry committed to said committee or subcommittee, and you are not to depart without leave of said committee or subcommittee. Place of testimony, Federal Correction Institution of Tallahassee, August 11th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Mark your calendars. It is going to be a big day. Signed, James Comer. Let's go. Oh, but my favorite part is the fact that we got Bill and Hillary, House panel directing chairman to subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton in the Epstein case. Bill Clinton flew to Jeffrey Epstein's orgy island with 2 young girls, bombshell Ghislaine Maxwell documents claim. House Oversight Subcommittee voted subpoena Justice Department to release the full files. Baby, let's go. Check this out. Democrats pulling an upset on the Epstein files. Major breaking. Then right here, in a genius move, House Democrats were able to pass a motion in a GOP-controlled House Oversight Subcommittee to subpoena all the Jeffrey Epstein files. They write the Republicans were blindsided because Democrats dropped an 11th-hour motion at an unrelated hearing after noticing that most GOP members on the panel had publicly demanded the release of the files. The GOP chair was caught off guard and scrambled, first delaying the vote to sabotage it by adding amendments to include the Biden administration communications. Democrats called their bluff and agreed. Then the GOP chair, Representative Higgins, lied, claiming the motion failed until Representative Garcia forced a full roll call. Ultimately, the vote passed 8-2 after 3 Republicans defied their leadership and joined 5 Democrats to pass the motion. 3 Republicans defying their leadership to pass the motion. Listen.
Document into the record listing the members of this committee and their individual calls to release the files.
Now, I want to make it clear here because I showed you before that the Senate blocked it, but this is the House side now, so don't be confused, okay?
Document into the record listing the members of this committee and their individual calls to release the Epstein files.
Shauna, without objection. The subcommittee stands in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
Point of order. Are we not going to take the vote?
We're in recess. That was a previous order.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, we need to take the vote from the motion.
We're in recess pursuant to the previous order, which passed without objection. So we're in recess, and we will move to those votes. Sorry, this is out of order conversation. I'm just being polite. We had the previous order that we moved without objection. Votes would be moved until after deliberation. Well, subject to call of the chair. Hope it's today. We have plans.
Recess.
We have plans.
We have forever recess. Children will not.
So when is the actual? When are we back in session for this subcommittee? After votes?
That subject to the call of the chair, as I stated. So
We're going to do a permanent
reflective
recess.
of the previous order. So stand by. now we will be calling up Ms. Lee's motion as amended. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. No. In the opinion of the, pardon?
The ayes have it.
In the opinion of the chair, the no has it.
Recorded vote, sir.
Recorded vote is called for. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Gosar. Mr. Biggs. Ms. Mace. Aye. Ms. Mace votes aye. Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry votes aye. Ms. Boebert. Mr. Jack.
Aye.
Mr. Jack votes aye. Ms. Lee. Yes. Ms. Lee votes yes. Mr. Bell.
Aye.
Mr. Bell votes aye. Ms. Simon. Aye. Ms. Simon votes aye. Ms. Presley. Ms. Presley votes aye. Mr. Garcia.
Aye.
Mr. Garcia votes aye. Mr. Chairman. No. Mr. Chairman votes no. Mr. Biggs is not recorded. Mr. Biggs votes nay. Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 8, the nays are 2.
The subcommittee stands adjourned.
Wow.
Document into the record.
They just voted to release the files in the subcommittee. You saw it right there. House Democrats able to pass a motion in the GOP-controlled House to subpoena all the Jeffrey Epstein files. This is only the beginning. Gunter Eagleman, 5 hours. House Oversight Committee officially voted to subpoena the following people: Bill and Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, Merrick Garland, Robert Mueller, William Barr, Jeff Sessions, and Alberto Gonzalez. Tick-tock on the Epstein files. Since the Epstein case is solved, can you investigate the 2020 election? I wouldn't say it's solved, but I think we certainly do need to look at 20 again. Here's Scott Jennings. Unverified hearsay is what Trump is up against now. Wall Street Journal reporting those words. Outrageous attempt to create a narrative where no credible evidence exists on Epstein. Same thing happened on Russia. Dems creating alternate false reality.
Just own up to it. Doesn't he just do that?
Own up to what? Calls unverified hearsay. Why should he go out there and have to own up to anything? He's not ever been credibly accused. The Washington Post ran a fact check on this the other day and said, we're confident there's nothing about the president. If there were, we would know about it. Unverified hearsay is what he's dealing with, and you want him to go out and fight this ghost? It's ridiculous. Democrats are alleging that he is somehow part of Epstein's wrongdoing. It's happening all day long. This is the whole point of this fiasco, is to try to create a narrative and what he calls correctly a hoax, that he is somehow part of it. It's exactly what they did about Russia, and they're doing it on Epstein.
If he's on the younger side, girls on the younger
side.
side.
And that comment and what you just said are two different things. So
okay,
if you're alleging criminality, go ahead. Say it directly. Say it so we can all hear it.
I am asking you a question that you are pivoting on. The question I am asking you is, if Donald Trump knew that Epstein was having sex and preying on age girls, is that wrongdoing?
Well, I think if anyone would have known that, but I don't know that he knew that because he disowned it. But you're raising it. If I knew that you ran over someone out on the street, would that be criminal wrongdoing? You're raising it because you don't know if it's true, but you're saying it out loud because you're trying to create.
No, I'm saying it out loud because I think that's what a lot of people are wondering, because he does. The man does protest.
This is what we say when Anna's wondering.
All right, let me the Democrats have been trying to take down Trump with documents that they never used. Trump.
I'm sorry, they crippled almost his entire first term by convincing one half of the country that Russia stole the 2016 election. And Democrats have it already. Tonight, Fox News did a poll.
Speaking of accurate sources.
Are you calling into question the Fox News polling? Because it's generally considered to be very good. So here's the deal. They have his job approval. He's a little underwater. Of all the people who said they approve or disapprove of Donald Trump, only 1% mentioned Epstein as the reason. All 1% was either Democrats or independents. This fantasy that Republicans or MAGA Nobody in the Republican Party is worried about this, and most of America is not worried about it.
So if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, the Epstein cover-up is finally unraveling, and the panic in D.C. is real. When Senate Democrats block releasing files, when the DOJ suddenly wants to talk to Maxwell after years of silence, when Bill and Hillary get subpoenaed, terrified. This isn't just about, it's not about justice anymore, it's about survival. The same people who called us conspiracy theorists for asking questions, they're now firing up and cutting deals. August 11th isn't just another date. It's when Ghislaine Maxwell sits before Congress with names, dates, and receipts. Every politician, celebrity, and billionaire who visited that island is now sweating bullets. So here's my question. Do you believe Maxwell will live to testify August 11th? Yes or no? Sound off below. And while the elite panic, you can gear up with Next News merch from our merch shop. Link down in the description. Show them we're done with their secrets and their lies, and help us expose President Otto Penn and support Alligator Alcatraz. Pick your favorite member of the administration with our American Badass series at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.